Today we are potting up each dahlia in their individual pot, and we're also taking up some dahlia cuttings. At the beginning of March, I started up some dahlia tubers, like I showed you in another episode. I left them for 3 to 4 weeks under the couch, and then when I looked at them, they were already shooting up new shoots. The dahlias have been sitting here under the couch for 4 weeks. Let's check them out. And look, we have a sprout. You can see a tiny stem and 2 super tiny leaves. And I immediately moved them right here under grow lights, right in my bedroom. But they quickly grew up, and now they can no longer sit in this shallow tray. We need to pot them up and to give each dahlia its own pot. Hi, I'm Michaela and I grow cut flowers in our tiny cottage garden in Zone 6 in Romania, Eastern Europe. Think of these baby dahlias as toddlers going to kindergarten. Up until now, they've been quite small. They fit together quite well in this shallow tray. But now these dahlia babies are like school children. They grew up and they need their own room in which to do their own homework. They grow up so fast. They need a lot of energy to do that. And basically, they need a lot of space. And very important, I only watered these dahlias once with a little bit of water 2 weeks ago. So up until this point, the dahlias don't need watering. This is of course so that our tubers don't rot by mistake. And now the moment we've been all waiting for. Let's see how these tubers are looking down there and what do their roots look like right now. We take it out carefully because we don't want to break the roots. Look at this beauty! This young dahlia just had to be potted up. The label. We slowly pull out the roots like this. And the last one, Arabian Night. Wonderful, beautiful roots, very strong, healthy plants. We can definitely pot them up. I'm using exactly the same universal potting soil that I used for waking up the tubers. Be very careful that your potting soil does not include added fertilizers, which could damage, they could burn the new dahlias. it has already some perlite in it. We're gonna add some water and fill up the pots. We should be able to make clumps, but not to have any water drip from them. I'm reusing these old pots, which I cleaned very well with detergent so that they don't have any disease. And we fill the pot almost up to the top. We toss the pot. We don't want to disturb anything, we just put it on top with the soil like this, top up with more soil. The tuber doesn't have to go deep into the ground. It can stay very superficially under the topsoil. Next up is Princess Elizabeth, a pom-pom dahlia in candy colors. Top up with soil. Then this cute Joey Joshua, which is especially good for bouquets. Top it up. Fortunately for Arabian Nights, I had already prepared a bigger pot. But we need to squish it in here. And now, my friends, we can water this sweet dahlia. We water carefully, deeply, without touching the leaves, very easily. In this way, we glue together the old soil and the new potting soil, and we make sure there are no air pockets into the potting soil. And if you're asking me why not put the dahlias directly into the ground or their final pots, there are two reasons for this. Number one is the weather. In our area, for the next week, we will have minimum temperatures of 5 degrees Celsius or 38 Fahrenheit. This is, however, a little too cold, too sudden for the little dahlias. So during these cold nights, I would like to take the pots and put them inside to protect the dahlias. And the second reason, which is most important, is that the roots are very small yet. So if we put our dahlias directly into the garden bed, or directly into a big pot, because of the rain or our own fault, we risk to overwater the dahlias and kill them before they could have a chance to bloom. You should know that I only grow my dahlias in pots, in big pots, and they grow large and heavy. However, I never skipped this intermediary step in which I take the tubers from the shallow pots and place them in medium pots, not in their final big pots. We are past May 1st, which is officially the last frost date in my area. Therefore, I'm no longer growing these under the grow lights, also because they are too big now in these pots. So I'm just taking them out on the terrace where they will live for the next 3 weeks or so before they will reach their final destination in the garden. From now on, we can water our dahlias. I can't tell you an exact rule, but maybe once a week, depending on your climate. As you could see, they now have developed strong roots and they can take in some water. And also, starting 1 week from now, I will fertilize them weekly. I like to use organic fish fertilizer like Neptune's Fortune because it is very mild and nice to the young plants. Also, exactly at this stage, we can do another wonderful thing with our dahlias, and that is to take cuttings from them. This really sounds a little scary, but I can assure you that with dahlias, it really goes well. Some gardeners take cuttings in order to triple up their stock if possible. So from one tuber, they can grow during the summer many more dahlia plants. Other gardeners, myself included, like to take cuttings as a backup measure. In case, God forbid, something happens to our dahlias, we have a treasure, a national reserve to keep the dahlias going into the garden. And other seasoned dahlia growers take cuttings just because they don't want more than 3 stems emerging from a single dahlia tuber. The first secret is to use a very sharp blade. I'm using the X-Acto knife. You can see the brand right here. We clean the blade with rubbing alcohol or with bleach to save the dahlias from any pest or disease. Look here, we've got 3 stems and 2 of them grew very close together. We will take a cutting from one of these 2, probably the one on the left, which is stronger. And we leave in the pot the one on the right, which is attached to the tuber anyway. So the thing is to cut a little bit of the tuber, so we go with the blade lower than the stem. This is the secret to growing new roots. We spread the stems apart. Make a deep cut, as deep as possible, at an angle. And look, I got a little bit of the tuber as well. We've got a lot of leaves on the upper part of the cutting, and we don't need them because the plant will lose a lot of water through the leaves. We cut each leaf in half, and our cutting will put all its energy into new roots. I already prepared a small pot filled with the same soil I used to pot up the young dahlias just now. We clean the stem and insert it into a corner of the pot, not in the middle. When the roots develop, they will touch the plastic wall of the pot and they will be forced to go down deeper into the soil in search for food. And thus the roots will grow strong instead of just developing superficially in the middle of the pot. So this is our dahlia cutting. We should see new strong roots in 4 to 6 weeks, and then the cutting will be ready for potting up. In one of our next episodes, we will take a look to see if our dahlia cutting has taken root, and also I will show you another trick so that from each dahlia you can get 5 times more blooms. If you also want to have these big, wonderful dahlias in the 1st of May already, click here to see my secret of waking up the tubers very early and not rotting them in the process.